G'day guys, what we're doing tonight is we're going to take a photo of these old train carriages with the iPhone 11. Can it be done? Absolutely, we're going to get a photo just like this one here. Let's get into it. G'day guys, Shane Mostyn here. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button down the bottom there. Every week I do 2 videos all about mobile phone photography. Every Monday and then a 5-minute Fridays. All these videos, we do a lot of astrophotography, as in photographing the stars with your mobile phone, light painting, tips and tricks, lots of editing and things like that. Lots of videos that I put out are actually what subscribers want. So subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon down the bottom there, and you'll be one of the first people to know what I'm doing each and every week. Let's get on with it.
What's left to wait for here? My eyes are asleep. I miss you. Bet you're feeling all alone. That big house by the lake this evening.
So why do I like coming out to this sort of place and photographing this sort of thing? Well, where we are here, we're surrounded by farmland and a lot of history in this area. And years ago, when Vic Rail got rid of the old Red Rattler trains, a lot of farmers actually bought these to use them as storage. That's why there's no undercarriages on the trains. They're all on stumps, they're all on drums and that sort of thing. And they've basically just been let go. Like they would have bought them for really cheap money, and they just use them for storage out on the farm. They might have held tools, they might have held feed for animals and so forth. But what we like about it, or what I like about it, is that they're old. There's a lot of character on these things, and especially with these train carriages, the wood has started to rot away and warp and the paint's chipping off, and they make for some spectacular bloody photos.
Let's brave the crushing waves in a boat made of roses and oak trees. Little stars shining down on us wherever we may be.
Now, just because they're on a farm and you might see them from the side of the road, I'm talking about train carriages, I'm talking about old machinery, old implements, old farming stuff. Basically, you're still on someone's property, so you can't just jump the fence and go and start taking photos. A few years ago, I got permission to photograph these and run the workshops out here, and I've been coming here ever since. It's always best to get permission for many reasons, mainly because it's just being bloody respectful. So these will be the subject for tonight's photo. We've got a carriage back here, and we've got a couple of caboose, I'm not sure. What do you call the bloody things? Let me know. So look, what we're going to do is work out where the Milky Way will rise. East is out that way, so I can tell you that the Milky Way will come up there tonight. I'll put a link up the top here as to how to plan for astro shoots and plan where the Milky Way will be. I also know that the nearest town is a good 10 minutes drive away. We are a long way from any lights here, so we should get some pretty bloody good photos. The only downside about where we are is out that way, about 800 metres, maybe a kilometre away. It's a pretty main road out there, so we might get a bit of traffic out there tonight. Well, it's main road as far as where we go. A couple of trucks just went past, and by the time we come out here tonight, it'll ease up a little bit. So what sort of tools do we need for tonight to do this astro photo? One, you're going to need a tripod. It doesn't have to be a tripod like this. It can just simply be a little Joby tripod, and these are actually awesome for phone photography. You can wrap them around things, get yourself a bit of height, put them onto fences and lock them onto fences, and your phone can sit directly on the top of that there, onto poles, all sorts of things. They're really cool tripods, especially for phone photography. The other thing you're going to need is the phone holder. That'll go onto any tripod. For what we're doing tonight though, you're also going to need a torch, and this torch here, it's a rechargeable torch. I turn it on. I can also adjust the power of this torch, which is really, really handy for doing light painting photography. Once you start painting the subject with the light, you might find after you look at the photo that it's just too bloody bright. You can't do much about that with a phone. So you need to adjust the amount of light that you're putting onto it. So a light that has dimmable features, as in goes really bright or really dim, is critical for doing this sort of work. Other than that, you're going to need an app. What app are you going to need? You're going to need Nightcap app. That sucker there. It's a pretty good app. You pay for it. I've been a little bit critical of it with the astrophotography features on it. But what we're doing tonight is light painting with Astro. And I've tried it with a few different apps. This one is probably the best one to do it with. All right, let's have a talk about this app, the Nightcap app. It's got a few features on it, and I've reviewed this app pretty extensively. But what we're doing tonight is using it in a way that you probably didn't think that we should use it at all. We're using it in the ISS mode, the International Space Station mode. And the reason for that is that it's the only feature on there that I know of that lets you shoot bulb. So when we shoot stars and things like that, it only lets you shoot for like 5, 10 or 15 seconds, something like that. It does it all by itself. So it's a pretty good app for phones that are before the iPhone 11. But what we're using tonight is the ISS mode, and the reason for that is bulb. So we hit the shutter and it just shoots for as long as it takes until we hit the shutter again. What that lets us do is it lets us walk around these train carriages and shine light, and we can go back and check how that's lit up on the phone and go back and paint some more with the torch and come back and check it, go back again, paint some more. It could take 30 seconds, it could take a minute, it could take 5 minutes. It takes as long as you want it to take. It's a really, really good fun way of doing photography at night. So what we've got to wait for now is obviously wait till it gets dark. The weather forecast looks a little bit crappy for tonight. The wind's going to pick up. There's already clouds out there. There's some clouds out there as well. Hopefully they get blown away by the wind that's starting to pick up now, but hopefully it's not too windy that we can't do this. Anyway, let's wait till it gets dark and we'll come back out.
Little star shining down on us, wherever we may be. Little star shining down on us, wherever you and me. Well, let's brave the crashing waves in a boat made of roses and old trees.
All right guys, obviously it's night time now. I was a bit worried about these clouds. It clouded over a fair bit this afternoon, but it's all blown away. It's pretty windy now. The moon is about half full. That's what I was expecting it to be tonight. So what we've got here is the cabooses are sitting just over here that we saw this afternoon. I've got the camera nice and low, the phone on the tripod nice and low so that we get a lot of the caboose in the photo. There's a little bit of star up there, and we'll give this a shot and we'll see how we go. All right, time to go paint with some torchlight. So while that's taking the photo, all we need to do now is simply paint the train with the torch, and keeping in mind we want to keep it on an angle. We don't want to hit the torch directly from the front. We want to hit the torch from the side like this, so it picks up all that nice wood grain. And as long as you're wearing clothes that are suitable for what we're actually doing here, as in darker clothes, you won't turn up in the photo. The best thing about this app, it's kind of like the Olympus live view in that you can shine a little bit of light, come back and have a look at the photo, and you go, oh, I need some more onto that caboose over there. Shine a light a little bit more. It's lit up there nicely. Shine a little bit down the bottom here in the ground. So there's the image that we've just taken. We've tried a few times. You've got to try lighting it from different angles. You might get something in the way. You might shine the torch accidentally against the phone, which will just ruin the photo. But that looks pretty bloody good. pretty good. You can see some stars up in the sky there behind. That's picked up really well. It's picked up the wood grain there on the train carriage. I think I'm pretty happy with that. The last thing that I wanted to try tonight was just a photo with the stars, with the train carriages there, just in the native camera app, and we'll see how well that actually works. So I'll go into the camera app. It gives me there the yellow button there for the night mode. We'll touch that. Because we're on a tripod here, when we spin it all the way to the right hand side, it gives me the option for 30 seconds. I'm just going to touch on the train there to see if it can help with focus. Push the start button. We'll see how it goes. I'll duck around real quick and just put a little bit of light on the front of the carriage there, and hopefully it'll pick it up well, and we'll see how this photo turns out. All right, that's finished. Let's have a look at that. You know what, that's not too bad either. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, guys, so that's light painting with Astro, with these lovely old train carriages here. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.